Chug a lug along, 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 along with me at the bay. Well, think about the times where how good they down at the bay. Only the people who were there will understand what I say. This is a song for you, one and only, yeah, a song for you, woman, a one and only, a song for you, yeah, the Langland Bay. Got it right this time. Oh, he's changed houses, Biscuit.
Yeah, yeah.
And a very good evening to you all. How's it going, boys?
I looked for something that was level, Con.
I will sleep well tonight now. I really will. Thank you, Biscuit.
Yeah.
So that's a window out of your Dorset pad, is it, Andy?
I wish, yeah.
Dorset. It's
You know,
Crawford.
when your
Crawford
regular
Finance.
sojourns, your regular trips to Dorset, do you go down in the van and you go to a regular place, do you?
Normally, yeah, we didn't go to the place we normally go to this time. We went to 3 different sites, but
All right.
normally when we go to Dorset, we just go to one place just outside of Sidmouth.
And then use that as a base, and then.
Yeah, yeah.
But do you actually then sort of, if you want to go somewhere else, do you go there by foot, public transport, or do you take the van?
No, we never move the van. It's too bloody big to move the van. So when we go to Sidmouth, it's one of the only places we go to for a week. So we generally hire a car when we go there.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And then we just use that for mooching about. But
I thought you would have had one of these camping cars with the bit underneath which slides out, and then your Lamborghini just slides out, and you drive off in your Lamborghini.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been watching that motorhome show, and you?
Oh, you know, some of them are wild, aren't they? You know.
Oh, flipping heck, yeah.
Amazing.
I think they had a particular piece. It was a project. They didn't have that unit at the show, but he said this is what we're aiming to get. You know.
Yeah.
Saying a little sliding bit underneath for a low sports, you know.
Yeah, they got like some of them have got, well, like a garage that you'll have at the side of the house. They got it in the rear of the motorhome, and you lift the doors up. And I mean, you know, like when we've been to Greece, you've got some fantastic flipping cruisers, and they've got the same thing. They got like a hatch at the back of it and lifts up, and then there's a speedboat that they
it comes out,
on the back of the boat. But you know, you're talking mega money.
You got a heavy goods license for that as well, haven't you?
Oh God, yeah.
Because
the next to neighbours to tow a little car behind.
The
next to neighbours to tow a little car behind it.
Yeah, a lot of
use
people
the car.
do.
Only a little car.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I don't really. I think if you're going to tow, you may as well have a caravan.
Yeah.
But each to their own. You know, if you've got the beauty of a caravan, of course, is you've got your car when you get there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's umpteen places, you know, in Cornwall especially, that you end up going down some narrow lane, and inevitably you'll meet something coming the other way. What you do
reverse easily, can you?
What you do when you're towing a car behind you, I haven't got a bloody clue.
Right, because you can't see it, can you?
No.
Yeah.
Well, when you can see it, it's too late.
Yeah, right.
I've got it all the time down here, down in Gower.
Yeah.
They take the shortcut through the narrow lanes, or even Park Mill. You get two coming in different directions, and that's
I remember a bloke I worked with in work, and he said when he first bought a caravan, him and his wife had a chat with, you know, like, where are we going to go? And he said, well, I like to try it out, go somewhere local. We just go down the Gower. And he said it was the worst mistake he'd ever made, because he said he got into the lanes, you know.
And they're all bloody lanes down here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if it's the height of the summer, you'll meet something coming the other way, and then as soon as you sorted that one out, and somebody else is coming.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
mean,
the little lane going down from Langland down to Brafton, sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the worst one because there's only about 2 or 3 passing places, isn't there? And
Yeah.
and there are some people who just can't reverse and they just sit in their car. No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. No,
Yeah.
go on,
Yeah.
go back. And
Yeah.
they can't reverse.
Yeah.
the worst case scenario is when you're going down a narrowish road and there are wide bits and narrow bits, and there's a car coming towards you, and it's obviously there's a wide bit which they're in at the moment.
Yeah.
But they keep coming towards you, leaving the wide part.
Yeah.
And then they stop when it gets narrow, looking at you as if to say, "Oi, you will have to go back." And you feel like saying, "No, you just missed an obvious passing space behind you." Or you stop, say, typical thing, then in front of the where Paul lives, by the tennis courts to the Langland Bay. That stretch of road there. There are some parts which are sort of wider than others. And you'll be heading into it, and you stop then to let the person come into the wide bit.
Yeah.
But they stay where they are in the narrow bit. And you're going, what do you want me to do? Hyperspace you?
Unfortunately,
And they think as long as they don't move, nothing's going to happen to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sam, that's called common sense, and it seems to be lacking a little bit these days, doesn't it? You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of time.
Yes.
It's like you can just park in the middle of the big of a bay for 2 cars, and they'll slap bang in the middle.
Yeah,
that's on the road. Never mind about down in Langland. They've put some extra parking spaces now, running parallel with the golf course green. You know, so apart from the ones going up in the road like that, they've put about 5 or 6 on the end there, and of course a couple of cars parked in their normal thing, and they're sticking 3 feet with their nose into the other bays where people want to park.
That's classic.
Some people like aim for the gap. Yeah, I'm in. Get out. They don't even look at how they've parked at all.
No.
They just walk away.
Yeah, some people, nice big new cars, they'll go on the line, so you can't park. They've always got space either side then.
Yeah.
Some places they then come and charge you. They stick a ticket on and say double park, double price.
Yeah, well, that's it. Because, like, you think about it, if you, in not even got to go away, you go to the Mumbles. If you want to park our motorhome, it's like 7.5 meters long. You'd have a job to get it into 2 spaces, and the park for a day's parking was, what is it down Langland now? £10, is it?
I should imagine. Yeah.
So it's going to cost you 20 quid or more if you went into a 3rd space. So
you could camp overnight for that price.
Yeah.
There's mixed opinions about the thing down at the Nabrock with the height barrier. You know, it's kind of to curb the motorhomes. But I can't even park. I can't even park in there. You know, just as my regular vehicle. So if the road alongside the yacht club and down by Southend there, if that's kind of full up, I have no option then. Sometimes I'll try and park there, and if there's no space, okay, go in the car park and pay. But you can't even do that now. No. I know they've done it to try and discourage the overnighting motorhomes.
Yeah.
But the little ace card they're pulling is a fire hazard if something went off on one of them. You know?
How long a time have they been parking down in now? About 30 years, more than that, perhaps. You know.
Yeah. But I always wonder where, because you know, like we got our own toilet, we got our own shower. We don't need, all I need is a water supply and somewhere to plug in to get electric.
Yeah.
But at some point, you need to empty your toilet cassette. And I just wonder, where do these people go when they're in Rock to empty the toilet?
Well, I mean, I think most of them, I've never known any of them stay there more than a night or two. You know, they'll be there one night, then the following day, and then they're gone. But I mean, they're more likely to sort of judge it that sort of if they're going to be, if they can maybe stay there for two days, 2 nights without needing to empty it, and then they more likely got somewhere where they can empty it, you know, and go to a site or.
Some sites I think they'll charge you a tenner or something, and you can go. We've never done it. We've never, as they call it, wild camping. We've never done it. Never fancied parking in a car park in the middle of a town.
Yeah.
So I'd be too worried to do it because you can guarantee some arsehole will come knocking the door at 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So I'd rather.
There's loads of going now. They find any green spot. Top of Keffin Bryn, classic. Yeah. You could get a few up there in the summer now.
Yeah.
Any in the lay-bys on the main roads.
You'd love it.
On the lay-by with the prime view looking back over 3 cliffs.
Yeah.
This is nice, yeah.
There's a few websites that these sort of van people, as you call them, where they tell each other where the best spaces are.
Yeah.
You know, but then what they do then, they drive up to a campsite or near a campsite, walk in, use the showers and all the facilities, then nip out again.
You'd like it down here, Biscuit. It's virtually free parking anywhere, basically.
Yeah. Well, they've got problems now, even on caravan club sites, because they'll have somebody that will join the club, which is like 50 odd quid a year. They'll get a membership card. They'll go to the site. What the rule is, they normally let you in. You pay for however many nights you stay in, and then you go on the site. You find your pitch where you're going to stay, and then you're going to go back to the reception, tell them what pitch number you're on, and then they give you a barrier card, which opens. Sometimes the barrier card works going in, and sometimes it works coming out, you know. But these people, they'll get their barrier card, and then they let all their mates in, and then before they turn around, there's like 20 of them rumbled into the site, and then they can't get rid of them.
Yeah, you know? That's right, because I think that's the maybe take no prisoners attitude of the guy, or I think it's a guy, down in Horton. If you go down to Horton, and then you go round the roundabout, and then it's off to the right.
That's the one in Port Tynan, that is. That's
Port Tynan, is it? Yeah, Port Tynan. And it's more or less Lloyd. Yeah, it's like a sort of German officer, sort of, you know.
He doesn't take any prisoners. You go. No. If he says you go in, you go.
Yeah.
And I said, you check you out any time of night. If you're making a noise, they come round with sort of 11 o'clock. Be quiet, or you got to go.
I tell you what, there's a campsite down here. I won't mention it, but like I'm a Google guide, you know, and I put my info down into Google Maps. And I went down to see Chris Bowler was down, and he was camping in one of the campings on the front of the bay, you know. So I went down there and I had to ask the guy, and I said, "Where's Mr. Bowler? Which site is he on?" "Oh, he's in number 38 or whatever." "But are you going to see him?" I said, "Yeah, I was just going to say hello." He says, "Oh, well, you have to pay the day fee." And I didn't have a car with me. My car was parked up in the road, you know. He said, "You have to pay the day fee." I said, "What's that? A day?" I never heard of that before. And apparently it's the thing over here. If you go in and stay for a morning, you have to pay the visitor's fee.
So just walking in?
Just walking in. So I said, "Well, fuck that." He told me where he is. I said, "Well, no, I'm not going to pay that." So I just went to see Bowler. So then we're having a cup of tea, having a chat. I haven't seen him for about 15, 20 years, sort of thing. So we got a lot of catching up to do. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up, frantic, the owner, you know, and he's going bananas, you know, over the top totally. Yeah, he's been down here now all day and blah, 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 blah. I said, well, what the fuck is it to you? I'm only having a cup of tea. It's my friend. He says, but you got to pay this. I said, I'm not paying you, fuck all. I'm a Google guide and you're fucked now, you know, basically. And so anyway, he said, right, well, that's it then. That's it then. You unplug your caravan. He went and unplugged the caravan, the camping car bowler. Yeah, he unplugged it straight away. He said, now get off. The bowler said to him, what? Okay, well, I want my money back then. So he'd been there for 3 days and he got his money back for the 3 days. And so then I sent him to another camping down in Plusvet, which is great. He loved it. But this guy, so I wrote him a thing in Google Maps, and I just trolled him totally. You know, I said, you know, don't go to this camping, and it was so many people took notice of it and just said, yeah, we've had the same experience and blah blah blah. Apparently, this guy's a fucking, you know, an N word with a capital I at the end, you know.
Yeah.
He must be a relative of Rob Grove, who runs the one in Portingham, because if you ever go on to the Trust Pilot or whatever it's called, or Caraglide, he's now changed it to Sky Sea. It was just a laugh. It's absolutely amazing. You just wet yourself reading the reviews. You wouldn't think you could run a campsite like that.
It's Faulty Towers in camping.
It was, you know. Because when one guy off one night and he was obviously having a party, he says, right, you're off, making too much noise. The guy got his van together, drove around the corner, police car waiting for him. He got done for drunk driving.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he called the police. Chucked him off and called the police at the same time.
What a that's sad, that is, isn't it?
He's a bit of a sad guy.
I just remember that it was almost given the attitude before you even went in, before you kind of got to the place, you know. They must have some bad experiences with some people to get their backs up so much, you know.
No,
I just think they've had just a bad life.
No, Rob Grove, they've moved him away part of the family. He's now sort of looking after something else somewhere.
Well, he was the one that was causing.
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't well or something. I don't know, but he was causing so much grief. But the thing is, it was a perfect site for families. You know, on the beach, you got a cafe, you got everything there. So you know, it's brilliant for families. So people keep coming.
Yeah.
It's like,
what do you mean cafes? The ones, what's it called now? See something, and the two of them, isn't it? One, what's his name? The guy who died a couple of years ago. I used to run it. The furthest one over. What's it called?
Well, Caraglide.
No, I don't mean it. I don't mean. Oh, they got cafes on the site, have they?
Well, no. You got in Portingham. You got the two cafes. You got a pub. And if you like a.
Oh yeah, I know the two cafes. That's what I mean. I was trying to think of the names of the two cafes right on the front.
You got the captain's table.
That's right.
That's one of them.
And Seafarer or something, is it?
That's Seafarer is the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to know the guy who ran the furthest one, not the captain's table, the other one. As I say, I think he died about 2 or 3 years ago, but his wife's still there, you know, in that one.
Yeah, it can be, a bit of a pain, to be honest. I don't know whether it's like a bit of a snob thing, but if you go on well, it used to be Caravan Club, but now it's Caravan and Motorhome Club. If you go on one of their sites, it's like an unwritten law. Well, it probably is a rule, but like you don't tend to hear any noise from about 10:30 onwards. But if you go on a private site, it's just, it can be a free for all, you know. And I know the morning we were packing up on this site, which was just outside of Weymouth, and there was a bottle of cider somebody obviously come out because there was a bar on site, which you don't tend to see normally on caravan club sites. You know, a pub and a restaurant and stuff, but there was on this one, and you'd never ever see, you know, somebody obviously had a bottle of cider and thought, oh, I'll drink this on the way back to the van, and then just chuck the empty bottle, and it just happened to be on our pitch. And you know, the glass bottle's enough, but it's a damn sight worse if somebody smashes it.
Yeah. Oh, aye.
So
you can just run over it with your car or your van, and smash the bottle.
Yeah, exactly. So it can cause, but you know, I suppose we all did stupid things when we were kids, but and that's why a lot of sites they won't allow a group of youngsters on there.
Yeah, you can't go camping in Gower unless you're a proper family.
Yeah,
you'd be very lucky to get into a campsite.
Yeah,
and again with the caravan club, most farmers are allowed to have at least one field with 5 caravan sites, but it's only a temporary license. And if there is any grief, the council can withdraw the license. So unlike a permanent caravan park, where as you said, anything goes, with the smaller 5 van sites, you know, they are literally controlled by the council, because if anybody starts complaining, they just take the license off them. But unfortunately, we're all getting bloody older, and as the older we get, you know, unfortunately, not everybody lives as long as us.
No, that's very true.
I mean, as long as us, we're still young, you bugger.
Yeah. Well, how old is Dave anyway? I was just trying to work it out.
He's got to be coming up for 80.
Yeah, well, I'm 69, so I thought myself, he must be coming up towards 80.
But I know when because he was always older than me, and I remember when going to his 60th. There we are, and that was it was in that church opposite Joe's, where it was a restaurant for a while, an Indian restaurant.
Yeah,
went to a meal, and I was working on the radio then, so that's got to be about 2002. And Kim reminded me, she came along with me to it. Well, we've been together 21 years, so that was his 60th. So I think he's either 79, 80, whatever.
Yeah. It's funny because I was thinking that this week. I thought when we were kids, when we were like 14, 15, 16, and we used to go down to the surf shop in the run where Joe's is down the Mumbles now. I would have said that I looked at Dave when we used to go down and help him unload the van when he'd come in with surfboards. I used to look at him that I was a kid and he was a man. But now I look at him that we're the same age.
Yeah. Well, that's when you're that age, you see. A prime example is when I somebody organised a class reunion for my school in Iceland about 3 years ago, and you know, there's about 20 of us turned up, and one of the guys that was organising it, he went out to the car park to get something, and I was out for the van, and this guy walks across the car park, and he had another guy with him, and I thought, well, pinch me. That looks like our form teacher. And he can't still be alive, surely. You know, but he must have been fresh out of, you know, college or something. And he was more likely, one of his first jobs, he might have been in his kind of mid-20s. But when you're 13 or 14, somebody who's 10 years older than you, when you're that age, that's a big difference, isn't it?
It's a lifetime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, likewise, take for instance, like PJ, you know, because PJ, when I was surfing, PJ was one of the young upstarts. Who's that guy? He must only be about 15. He's really good, isn't he? You know, but I mean,
because me and Con showed him how to surf, Con.
Yeah, right. We told him.
But he's only, you know, so it must be about 6 years between us. But when you're that age, 6 years is like sort of what huge gap.
Oh, it's a different generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bumped into Tony Hearn this afternoon. I was just finishing off my game of croquet down at Mumbles, and he and Viv were just walking across, and they'd been with friends to Bistro Pierre, and they were on their way to the Waterloo stores to carry on with the falling over stuff, you know.
Yeah. We walked past while you were playing croquet.
What, today?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah. Because the hedge is pretty high at the moment.
I know. I've been meaning to go down here with the clippers and cut a gap.
Yeah. Because
you can't see.
I could hear the clunk of the bat, like, you know, if that's what you call it.
Mallet. I call them bats. I say, where's my bat? You know, it's a mallet.
Did you actually call out anything when you hit it? Did you say 4 or
no
strike or
no? It's a silent. Hardly any speech goes on while you're playing.
People just fall over laughing, and they go, look at he's done there.
Oh yeah, you do. When things happen, if somebody's done a really good shot, it's like, oh wow. Or if they've almost done a really good shot, it's gone the whole length of the lawn, and it looks like it's going to go straight to the hoop, and just at the last sort of foot, it veers across and misses. Like it's like,
because I know when we were walking past, I walked past the gate, and then I heard a clunk. And I thought, oh, I bet Sam's in there. So I walked back to the gate, looked in, and I could see a little group of you sort of consulting around.
Yeah.
And then we carried on walking then towards the pier.
Yeah.
And there was one almighty bang. And I thought, Christ, what the hell was that? Somebody must have given something a crack. It was quite a loud bang, came from the other side of the hedge.
Nah, that wouldn't have been playing. That might have been somebody getting something down and dropped a cupboard or something.
Maybe, I don't know. But there was
where you walk your gap in the hedge, or were you on the prom side or the main road side?
No, we were on the main road side.
Yeah. So on the main road where there's a gate, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to look through that gate if I hadn't have. I went down there with my hand clippers one day, and I kept the hedge so that because the bushes. They're almost growing together.
Yeah.
So to get through the gateway, you had to part the things, you know.
You got less than
Who's coming back on, boys? We've got less than a minute.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back on. It's going to be 9 minutes, okay?
Yeah. How many?
Yeah, okay.
9 minutes.
9 minutes. What they stretch you out every time, do they?
It was 9 minutes last week, anyway.
Wow.
So
all right.
Before that, it was 5 minutes. Then it was 2 minutes. Before that.
But you've got a notification.
In a few months' time, they'll stretch it.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah. So anyway, so if it goes, it's going to go up now, I think. Yeah. Did you ever wonder what it would look like to be back in the 70s? Well, here I am. Life is life, and everything is just moving, man. It's just great. It's absolutely fabulous. Yeah. So let's talk about that then. Yeah.